The question we asked was, who is Apple and what is it that we stand for? What we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done. Apple, at the core, its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And so what we're going to do in our first brand marketing campaign in several years is to get back to that core value. A lot of things have changed. The market's a totally different place than it was a decade ago. And Apple's totally different, and Apple's place in it is totally different. And believe me, the products and the distribution strategy and manufacturing are totally different, and we understand them. But values and core values, those things shouldn't change. The things that Apple believed in at its core are the same things that Apple really stands for today. What we have is something that I'm very moved by. It honors those people who have changed the world. Some of them are living, some of them are not. It's the people, honoring the people who think different and who move this world forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new Jhpiego brand launch. I am thrilled to welcome two bold, visionary, legendary leaders. Please join me in welcoming Leslie Jobs and Melody Cook.
I'm Leslie Jobs. I'm the president of Jhpiego. And this is my colleague, Tim Cook McCoy. And we're here to launch something new, special. Something that'll change the way people look at our organization. How they'll talk about our organization. Now, 20 years ago, I said, it's a complicated and noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No organization is. So we have to be really clear about what we want them to know about us. That statement is still relevant today. Even with the greatest branding in the world, we need to invest, we need to care in order to retain our relevancy and our vitality. So let's talk. We know the work we do saves lives. We know to continue our work, we need the aid of other donors, USAID, and others. We need to talk to more people. We need to let them know who we are, what we do. But in today's world, we need to be seen and we need to be heard. Now, we are more than just trainers. We are more than people that write policies and procedures. We are more than people that measure people by standards. We are an organization that has grown. We now have 3,600 staff around the world. We have more than 100 programs in 40 countries around the world. We lead many global organizations, MCSP, Tip Top for Unitaid, Sayuti, and many, many others. We need to look at our work, and we need to think about our work and understand that we have excelled in many areas. Think about it. WHO said we were the gold standard in infection prevention. We are a trusted partner to other people. They believe in us. They trust us. We are also an organization that saves lives. We work tirelessly, day and night, to make sure we reach all the people in the world, wherever they live, whatever money they have. So, with growth, with increased visibility, with increased status, we need to change the way we brand ourselves and communicate who we are today. We need to refresh our message to show the best of who we are and what we do to both the people that know us, USAID, our donors, our ministers, our constituency, as well as to others who might only know us in the Funny or Die video. And so, what's critical now is we need to move ourselves forward. We need to launch a new message, a new brand. People will not come to us for expertise if they don't know us. People will not know us if we don't make ourselves seen and heard. So today is about launching a new branding. A branding that's a refresh branding. I am not saying we are changing our mission or values, but we need to communicate our values as the organization's changing. We need to refresh our message to ensure that people know the work you all do. You all make an impact. I know that. I am aware. But we need to now communicate what we're doing in the world in which we live today. So today we launch a refresh brand that will reflect who we are today and what we're doing today, so the world knows, hears, and sees us. Now, I'm going to ask my colleague, Tim Cook-McCoy, to go over the process and what is going to happen with this brand refresh. Thank you.
So, 20 years ago, we had a visionary come into Jhpiego who said, we need to talk differently about what we do. We need to have people understand what we are. And I showed up here at Jhpiego just about 10 years ago. And I walked the halls and I asked a lot of you who were there then, what does Jhpiego do? And 30 or 40 minutes later, I would walk away having no greater understanding of what you did than when I started the conversation. So after listening and thinking and working with some of the communications team, we came up with that little summary. We prevent the needless death of women and families. So for the last, 7 or 8 years, that's what we've told people. We prevent the needless death of women and families. But the world has changed, and Jhpiego has changed. And as I've had a chance to visit programs like Mozambique that transformed through legislation who could provide cesarean sections, task shifting down from OBGYNs now to nurses, and we scaled up the capacity of people to be able to provide that service, that was more than just preventing the needless death. That was transforming a country. When we look at the things we're doing in safe surgery today, it's not just preventing the needless death of women and families, it's transforming the lives of individuals and nations. One of my favorite Jhpiego stories is in Afghanistan, where we had trained the midwife who on her rounds went knocking on doors of pregnant women throughout the country. And she knew that there was someone in this home, a woman who had given birth or was about to give birth, and she wanted to see her. And the husband answered the door and said, no, there's nothing you can do, go away. She could hear the woman screaming in the back, and she knew she needed help. So she finished her rounds and then thought about it. She went back to that house. Husband opened the door and said, I told you to go away, what are you doing here? And she said, I know what to do. She pushed past him, and with only a trash bag, was able to remove that retained piece of placenta and save that woman's life. That's more than preventing the needless death. That was empowering a midwife and employing her. So when I first got here, I thought, low-hanging fruit, let's change this horrible, horrible name. Steve over there was having none of it. No, we were going to be Jhpiego forever. So what could we do? How could we freshen our look and talk to people a little differently to reflect the broader sense of what it is that we do? And so after 9 years of begging, because Jhpiego has taught me to be persistent, Steve over here finally gave the nod to maybe just rethink how we talked about ourselves. Now, it's not a revolution. It's not a dramatic change. It's more of an evolution, a facelift, a freshening. So, because we are Jhpiego, we had to have a very thoughtful process. We hired one of the leading experts in the world in marketing, a company named Red Dog, same company that helped us grow our social media platform from mediocre to outperforming Charity Water, Red Cross, USAID in terms of number of visitors and reactions to our work. That same company worked with us. They met internally with many of you. We had committees get together. They talked to our partners, our colleagues, our donors. And they came up with a set of our values. What are the things that we are known for? Who are we? How do people describe us? They describe us as partners, as someone who is trusted. They describe us as people who are generous, accountable, motivated, inspiring, tireless. And a word that's not up there that I really feel describes us well is servant leader, right? We go into countries and we listen to what they want and then provide leadership to help actualize their beliefs. And from that, they came up with a new thought for us. Jhpiego, a nonprofit global leader in the creation and delivery of transformative healthcare solutions for the developing world. Now, it's a little longer than preventing the needless death of women and families, which, if you're nervous, is always a go-to. But I think this gives a broader sense, a broader statement of who we are. a nonprofit global leader in the creation and delivery of transformative healthcare solutions in the developing world. And of course, we do this in partnership with national governments, health experts, local communities. We build health providers' skills and develop systems that save lives now and guarantee healthier futures for women and families. Our aim is the revolutionizing of healthcare for the planet's most disadvantaged people. So these are the words that we are going to use to describe ourselves moving forward. But we also, wanted to zhuzh a little bit, make us a little more memorable. Our last logo served us well for over 10 years. It felt very corporate. I personally always struggled with the olive. Was it an olive? Was it a uterus? What was that? And young Kim used to always tell me, it's whatever you want it to be. So we have a new look. Jhpiego, there you go. So here we were. Jhpiego. Now again, this is not a revolution. This is an evolution. And to those of you who maybe aren't so thinking marketing, like, what's going on there? It's the same thing. Our typeface has changed. It's a little friendlier. It's lowercase. We have all the rules and regulations about how to use that lowercase. And we have what we call an avatar or our monogram. And that monogram can stand for many things. It is Jhpiego, helping parents with their children. It's Jhpiego, helping carry forward the health of nations into the future. It's Jhpiego working. It's fathers and mothers. And I think that this is something that's more reflective. Now, many people are like, well, that's J with a semicolon. You paid how much for that, J with a semicolon? But if you think of Federal Express, which is the #1 recognized brand in the world, it's simple, and there's like a little arrow hidden inside of there that once you know it's there, you always see it. And this semicolon, again, is a parent with a child. It's Jhpiego, because we love our Jade. We have J-Love, Jam, you name it, it's Jade. Carrying forward the future. Here we are. Our old brand, our old tagline, innovating to save lives, I think now more reflects who we are. We save lives, we improve health, and we transform futures. And I think it gives a greater depth to who we are and what we do. Innovating to save lives, we could have been in pharma, banking, a lot of different things innovate to save lives. Innovation 10 years ago was that word, but today it's a much greater depth. So, at this point, I'm sure many of you are wondering, well, how do you make that work in a technical presentation? So we have with us our technical leader, Jeff Smith, who is going to get up and show you how our new brand works. There you are.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Steve. You're looking great these days, I'll tell you. We had the opportunity with this new refreshed look to put forward a refreshed presence of who we are as Jhpiego. And here's some slides that we can use as our technical presentation. And I think one of the things that's really great about this is that it is at once both serious and approachable. It's professional and it's catchy. It grabs you. So I think we have this is a title slide. This is not a real presentation. I'm just kind of using some slides. We've got, I think the Jhpiego team has done an outstanding job of giving us excellent photographs and graphics to match them. And I think we need to all learn better how to use those graphics and put forward our message. Because when you link the face of this woman and this baby with this tagline, saving this life, improving her health and his health, transforming their futures. That's powerful. It gives us the opportunity with a broad open template and lots of good space and colors to be able to present ourselves more completely. We're not boxed in by the previous template as much. We've got the ability to present strong messages and link those strong messages to our monogram and who we are, and really put in people's minds strong messages and that Jhpiego brand. We've got the ability to, again, pull forward great graphics, zoom in on great graphics, and focus on a message that aligns with that graphic. And then for our technical presentations, we've got a color palette that's more flexible. We've got a template that's broader. We can blow those graphics up to fill the entire slide and make that message strong. We've got the ability to ensure that all of the technical information can be there in a format that people can see. And I really love, I was a driver of saying, give me a palette to work on, open up that slide so that we can really use the full depth of that slide to deliver our message. I'm thrilled, really thrilled about the new brand because I think it gives us the opportunity to not only drive our message home, but link that message of changing futures and improving health to who we are. So this is a fantastic refresh for us. It's a chance for us to deliver our message in that servant leadership mode of helping people to understand we're here to serve and we want to help you change your future. Thank you.
So at this point, I would like to ask Anne and Young to come up so they can answer a few questions. Are there any comments, some feedback we'd love to hear? Sue, did you have something? Sue Sawyer?
So as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of new brands and the context.
Good morning. So I was thinking about this, and I'm looking at the slides, thinking about this in the context of the Miles for Mothers fundraising that I've started to do. And as I talk to family and friends, not so much my family, but friends and acquaintances, they'll often ask me, well, wait a minute, what does Jhpiego do again? And to Melody's point, or Tim Cook's point, over the years, preventing the needless deaths, innovating to save lives, it's a little bit more abstract. And I love the idea of creating messages that are targeted, saving lives, improving health, transforming futures. It's really specific, it's really direct, and I also actually really like how the logo telegraphs, to a degree, a little bit of what we do. The parent or mother carrying the child communicates even if I'm not there to explain what we do. So as I think about this on my Miles for Mothers fundraising level, that's one aspect, but then also, as I'm thinking about Jhpiego diversifying our funding, this certainly, I think, achieves that goal of speaking to a larger audience and communicating to more people as we want to do in terms of diversifying our funding. So, great job. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Yeah, let's hear more of that. Jean?
Aha. Well, as a former English teacher, I like the semicolon. It's not a full stop. It's a go-ahead. We know there's something ahead of that semicolon. That's us.
Wouldn't you know it that Jean would take my thunder. Let me, as a word person, let me just say one thing. So, you know, a semicolon is a connector. Okay, and to me that said who we are and what we do, right? We connect people to healthcare, health providers to new skills, health systems to quality improvement approaches that can make a difference, countries to health systems they can be proud of and sustain. Thank you, Jean. Who did I see over there? Teresa. Here. Oh, right there, right behind you.
I'm Teresa Norton, Knowledge Management. I have a question as to whether Johns Hopkins University had to approve or have any input on, I notice our affiliation is lower on the overall display. Thank you.
So I'll take that. The university went through a rebranding process. Was it 3 years? About 3 years ago now, of which I was a part of being in that rebranding process and the evolution to the new logo. We were the only group within the university that was not made to rebrand. They recognized the unique elements of our work, that we were competing in a different business space, and that we needed to work within our market. So they allowed us to defer that rebrand to whatever we wanted to do. And the affiliate line, can we find that slide with the affiliate line? Whereas before we were referred to as an affiliate of Johns Hopkins University, now we are Johns Hopkins University affiliate, just sort of putting the university first and the relationship next. So we are good to go with the university.
It's here.
Just so everyone knows, there are various versions of the logo that will be available. So we to the canine gallery over here. I'm sorry, I mean that in the nicest way. Besides what we call the introductory logo, which is just the Jhpiego name with our monogram, we have the one with the tagline, which you guys have seen on the presentation, but there also will be an affiliate line logo that we can use when we co-brand, when our relationship with JHU is important and we need to strengthen that relationship and have that be forward-facing. So the logo system is very modular in this way, so that we have many pieces that we can pull apart, put back together. Like Jeff said, there are the color palette has expanded, so there's a lot there.
And we will have the toolkits and the guidance and all that on my Jhpiego, so that you all can get facile in using it, see how it works for you. We'll have BBLs set up where we're going to workshop with you guys on a variety of things involving the new brand, and also on messaging, because it's not just only about how we look, but how we talk about ourselves. And just one thing, I remember a couple of years ago, I'm working with Nancy Kaiola on the annual report, and I'm pushing the preventing the needless death of women and families. And she looked at me and she said, "We are so much more than that. Can we go the next step here?" And I was like, okay, oh yes, you're right. Well, we're here now, okay? And I think I wanted to emphasize that. Oh, we have questions online, okay.
So one of the questions that we have, one of the questions that we have online is, when will the package be available? The package will come to you this afternoon with a link to the front of my Jhpiego with all the branding documents and all the new ways to use the logo. Another question online is about that transition, and so this is not something that's going to happen overnight. We recognize that we don't want to waste or spend needlessly, that this transition will take time. We don't want people throwing away current documents that they have with old branding. Use up those documents. But if you are going to be making new documents will move forward with the logo. In a meeting that Alon and myself and Ann and Michelle had with all of the country directors, walking them through the branding a couple of weeks ago, we asked for them to give us, costs to look at signage on the buildings, to repaint or hang new signs, and again, that will be an ongoing process as we move or as the money becomes available.
Rich.
So I know this is probably not a surprise, but when I first got wind of this, I had a lot of questions.
It's not a surprise.
And you know, one of the things I really like about this is that we're in a new age. There is universal health coverage. It's taking fire. There is a new administration in place. There are opportunities that we're not even aware of right now that we can help to hitch this change to. So this change is emblematic of us thinking differently, of us approaching things differently, of not being satisfied with the status quo. Use it, and I'm feeling challenged myself to do this, but use this as a way to demonstrate who we really are, and in your own words, and how you know, how we are moving things forward beyond just saving lives. So.
Good, excellent.
Thank you. Glenn?
And I have to channel Cindy Arciaga, who right now is in India, who says she's excited about the brand because it's forward-thinking, more personal, with a softer font and color, and it's a people-centered, and it's people-centered. And since knowledge management is about our people, I see it in the brand, the relationship and connection of Jhpiego to our people and our knowledge.
Oh, thank you. That was great. Thank you very much, Cindy.
Can I just add while we're, we have some new people, we have other people that have been online, and I want to recognize them while we're still here. We have Wisconsin, New Jersey, Minneapolis, Namibia, welcome Namibia, Liberia, welcome Liberia, Durban, welcome Durban, Uganda, Chad, Zimbabwe, I can't read the handwriting, North Carolina, and Florida. So we have 223 people that are listening right now to this. So please, some of you can see us.
Any other Michelle?
Modular, you talked about how it can come in different pieces. I think before I've tried to put together a presentation or a brief or something, and I'm like, okay, do I want the box over here or do I want the box up here? And I just feel like it's so much more flexible because then you can have the message at the center and it can really come through. And the message for a data person like me is with data visualization. And as Jeff said, the color is just way more flexible. And I remember a very short story. I got all excited about Power BI, and I made like a color template from our old like approved colors, and the visualization was terrible. It was like the blue was next to like the brown because it was like the 5th column, and I had used all of the appropriate colors. But I'm just excited about the data visualization aspect of it. Thank you.
Anything else?
Can you click to the slide of the new business cards?
Oh, I think there was a question.
Okay. There you go. So this is what our new business cards will look like. Again, as you're reordering business cards, you'll be getting something. I think the bright colors are a little snappier than the white that we had before. It stands out a little bit more. Bringing our
The affiliate line's right there. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, Jen Snyder,
Thanks,
Jen. I just have a clarifying question about sort of our process with hubs and requesting materials. Is there supposed to be like more oversight, or should we be giving hubs more lead time to be able to, like, since there's going to be such a dramatic change in our presentations and our printouts and all of that, just process-wise, is it going to change, or should it kind of be the status quo?
It's a very, very good question. It's almost too good. Yes, I think having, it's going to be a learning curve for everyone. As Anne and Tim and Steve have mentioned, it's not just about being seen, it's about being heard. So telling our stories or our data in a way that is compelling and fits with the new brand and the new tone of voice for Jhpiego is going to take a little bit of, in the beginning, extra something until we really kind of can step into it and live in it and breathe it and, you know, be able to easily tell our stories in this way. So to that point, when we are thinking about presentations or reports, and especially really external communications type forward-facing materials, we probably will need some additional leeway and lead time in working with you directly to hone those messages. Comms probably might be involved more so at the beginning to kind of help us along as we develop the new look and really get into using these modular pieces, like Michelle said. You know, that's going to take some time. We're talking more visual, like Jeff was saying, so your presentations may require some additional work with finding the right photo, developing the right graphics. So as we're thinking about conferences coming up, reports that you might be working into your work plans and things like that, definitely take into consideration more time needed.
But I think it's gonna be a collaborative process, and I think one of the really good things about the brand refresh coming now is, you know, we started this new strategic plan. The strategic plan reflects a lot of the elements of what we were after here. I mean, I'm really heartened to hear the range of people talk about the new brand, whether it's a data visualization person, somebody in finance. TLO is going through their own new messaging, as I understand it, in terms of learning to talk about, under their new structure, how best to reflect what they do and what their impact is. So I think it's all sort of coming together at a really good point. And as I said, the PBLs that will be scheduled, that'll be early in October, will be almost like a workshop process. So we really would encourage, you know, we'll set them up. It won't just be one. We'll give everybody a shot to come at different times. And we hope you'll join us. And again, we're always available for comment or questions. Gabi.
Well, congratulations. I think this is really beautiful, playful, and modern. So I'm really excited to see this come out. My question is, in part of the stuff that you're rolling out for country level teams, is it going to be very explicit about how we kind of bring this to ministries, how we bring this to partners? You know, we have materials right now that we're about to roll out that are branded Jhpiego, but I'm assuming we're not going to put this logo on it yet because it's not out there yet. So I'm assuming there's some kind of a rolling way this is going to happen, and is that pretty clearly laid out in this plan?
The timeline, I think, is really what the important thing here, as Melody says, we don't want people to waste money or resources. And I know I addressed an issue with Uganda, with Emily, about an event coming up. We're going to go live today across the platforms, and I think over the course of time, as you said, we put out the word to the country directors to give us the sense of what their needs are going to be and how they feel they can reflect sharing the new brand. So again, a collaborative process where we want to hear from them first before we set everything, you know, in stone in terms of who's on first and where. Because as we all know, what works in Kenya may not work in Zimbabwe and vice versa. So we want to ensure that the country offices and the country directors and their teams feel confident, comfortable, and feel that they know how to roll this out in the context that they are most keen with.
All right, thank you, ladies. So at this moment, I would like to ask the Jhpiego team to stand up. Give them a big round of applause. They are channeling Steve John today in their black, and it's been a huge effort. So well done, team. Thank you. And for just one moment, picture me more as Oprah and less as Tim Cook, because we do have some swag today. We have no wallets. We have cookies. We have pens. And you get them. And you get them. And you get them. So we have swag. We also have in the lobby a step and repeat. And we ask you all to come by and take a picture of yourself with the new logo. Put it on social media. We're going to share it. So let's start spreading the news. Thank you, Steve. Thank allowing the organization to grow and change and become better all the time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And while, you know, this was meant to be, while we were doing this meeting, we just got word that we won a nice big award. You're going to be hearing about it soon. Just this minute we got word. So every vibe is there for the organization of the future. And we'll send out a message when we have to check. It's on hold until we can say it publicly. But this is good news for us, so it's a good news day. Let's give another round of applause to Jhpiego and the entire team. And go out there and say what you're going to say. Go out there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Hop on in. That was more of a community. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I love it. Perfect. Good looking. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Oh, sorry. It's a video. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I love it. Pink cameras. Oh, yeah. I love it. Hello, hello.
Oh, wait, my glasses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now a big smile. Awesome.
Come on, Steve.
Come on in. Fearless leaders. 1, 2, 3. Maybe straighten out the posters just a little bit. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And now a big smile, huge smiles. Awesome.
Back to back.
Oh yeah.
What do you do with this?
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Thank you. All righty.
I'm coming.
Say that. 1, 2, 3. Bigger smile. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And you're like, oh, I don't know about this. Just let me know. It's a work in progress. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I love it. Yes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Got it? I think so. Good. Thank you. Yep. First it Liz.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
All right, one more from me. Scoot slightly more together this way. You guys love each other? Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I love it.
Thank you.
Hi, Koki. Hi. Looking good. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I love it. Thank you.